Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another place. More to come on that in a minute. Anyway, I need to film another video and I thought I would do not a sit down video because I'm actually standing up in front of the window. Totally forgot to bring a tripod or anything with us. It was kind of very last minute packing. Anyway, I guess I should start at the beginning. So as a lot of you know, we are renovating our co-op. It's actually a co-op. I'll call it an apartment because it's just easier in New York City. And excuse me, got a tiny bit left of a peppermint mocha from yesterday that I reheated. Like I said, I don't even remember when the last time was I updated you, but the bottom line is that our contractor walked out. I think this was like the fourth time. I don't know, frankly, I've lost count. And we honestly didn't know what we were gonna do. We were trying to work with his like business partner person who is not actually technically a part or a party to the contract, but he was the one who like connected us with him. And anyway, so we tried working with him and he brought over some guys who seemed very capable and whatever to potentially finish the job, and we thought that's what was going to happen, but unfortunately that didn't. And basically the business guy, who we'll call Jonathan, basically said, you guys need to just work directly with the actual contractor and figure this out or whatever. So anyway, we sent our contractor, pursuant to the contract, a cure letter. So if you're not familiar with contracts, or you know, even if you are, generally there are like default clauses in there or things that would cause a party to be in default of the contract. And basically the cure, or you know, to cure the default, you have to do certain things within a certain amount of time. So this contract provided for a 7-day cure period, which would start after the other party received written notice, and written notice could be given via email. So we drafted a cure letter that basically had on it like every single tiny little thing that they either missed or frankly that we said we didn't care about anymore, and all the things that were left to do on the contract, because frankly our goal in this was we did not want the contractor to come back. We just wanted to be out of this contract. So we sent the cure letter, the notice, but in this case, for our contract, it actually requires him to do everything in the cure notice by the 7 days. So he pretty much would have had to have like started the very next day. So, I mean, there was no way in the world. Anyway, he never even acknowledged receiving the letter. And you know, you don't need proof that he read it or sent it. It's pursuant, you know, the notice is sent pursuant to the contract, and his email was part of the contract, and we've sent him other emails there, so we know it's a working email. But the bottom line is that we are done with our contract, which is a good thing because, you know, we did still owe him, or we had 2 other very small, albeit, payments left on the contract, but at least we can now shift that money to another contractor, which we have found. And I will say, at least from that perspective, the good news is that that contractor seems he's just very on it. And we should have gone with him in the first place. He was actually a contractor that we had talked to before, also introduced to by Jonathan, but apparently he didn't think he could do, the new contractor didn't think he could do it for the price that we needed it done. Anyway, but we went back to him. He's great. Everything got, like, that part of it has gone super smoothly. So like we had to have all the building, like the building permit and the plumbing and the electrician permit, like all those had to be changed. So within the DOB, or the Department of Building, or whatever it is for New York City, all those things had to be changed into new people's names. And so they have to go through like a superseding process. And anyway, but our expediter helped us with that, and we got all that taken care of. I'm sorry if you can hear like now a shower and David's phone in the background because he's taking a shower. And yes, he likes to watch things in the shower. Do I think that's a good idea? No. But anyway, I digress. So that whole part went very smoothly, and the building actually, oh my gosh, like for this part of it was so cooperative, and they were great, and they got everything, all the paperwork got processed, and our new contractor is now like ready to go and ready to start, which is amazing. Herein lies the problem. The problem is that we still have this water damage, and the building on that side of it has been horrible. They were refusing to give us documents that we needed for our insurance company. It's been a thing. And thank goodness it now, I think, is finally resolved. But a couple days ago, I was pretty much at my wits' end. I was like sobbing. I didn't want to be here anymore. I just wanted to go back to Kansas City. I'll be really, really honest with you guys. It was really, really getting to me living. And it's not like, you guys, I totally understand that there are so many more awful things, and I'm not going to get into the Israel situation. You guys probably know how I feel about that, and I'm not going to get into that. And so please do not misunderstand that. I know that there are people in the world who live in far, far worse situations than I am living in. But it just, after, 10, actually not even, it's been even longer, because if I count from when we were living in our temporary housing in Kansas City, we moved in there in October. So it's now been over a year that we've been in like this temporary kind of living situation. And I don't have all my things. And again, not that that's like the worst thing in the world. It's just this feeling of displacement and unrest and not feeling settled. And I just finally got to the point where I just had to like let my feelings go and out. So we were, finally getting some progress from the building of what they were going to do. They finally had agreed that they would pay for the mold test that we had done, and the problem was that, like I said, they weren't giving us documents that we needed, and they stated that their insurance, whatever, basically their position was they would not pay to relocate us, even though they were requiring us to abandon the premises so that they could do their remediation work and, fixing of the problem of what happened, both the damage and I think like fixing what caused damage. They were requiring us to be out. They wouldn't let us like live in one half while they did one half and flip-flop, kind of like we did with the renovation. They said we had to be out. And so our position was, okay, if you are requiring us and you are displacing us from our living situation, and it's a result of your like you caused it, you should be paid for. Anyway, it was a whole thing going back and forth. They wouldn't give us the documents that said that they were not responsible to do that. And then they were just saying, you just need to file a claim with your insurance company. Well, that's all great and good. And you guys know, obviously that's what insurance is for. And yes, we could go to our insurance company, but that means that, and yes, we'll be made whole from the perspective of they will cover our temporary living, costs. But the problem is that then our insurance rates are going to get affected by that. And we didn't want to file a claim if we didn't have to. Like if they were really supposed to be doing this as a part of the proprietary lease that's with the building, as a part of the co-op, or their insurance, policy, whatever for the building. Anyway, it just was a whole cluster, and they were not being helpful at all. They were frankly being, I'm going to say it, assholes about the whole thing. And you can see here what I'm using. Basically, we called our attorney who had done our closing for us, who's a real estate, does a lot of real estate stuff, and we ended up filing a claim with our insurance company, and we do have coverage under our insurance policy for displacement for a certain amount of money that they would reimburse us for, whatever. So, and it's still, honestly, up until today's Saturday, up until yesterday, the building was still not cooperating. And anyway, but our insurance company has been great. They sent us a check, they overnighted it to us for our living costs. So we then, originally they said that they were going to start on this remediation on the 22nd, which is the day before Thanksgiving. And Jack is coming on December 15th. Well, all the remediation and that reconstruction has to take place basically before our contractor comes in to finish what wasn't done and also redo some things, i.e. repainting the entire apartment, because the paint job that they did was horrible. There are things they painted wrong. It's ridiculous, you guys. I realize that, if you just kind of look at it superficially, probably it looks okay, but if you just look at something for more than 2 seconds, you see that there's it's uneven, and they've got ceiling paint on the wall and wall paint on the ceiling, and anyway. So we're having to pay to basically have the entire apartment repainted, which is, above and beyond what was budgeted for the renovation. But we don't obviously want them to paint. We don't want our contractor to come in, do all the work, paint all the walls, for then the remediation and their contractor to come in, or the building's contractor to come in, to then rip all the walls out, because in Hannah and Nick's room and our room, they're going to have to remove a whole lot of sheetrock and then put up new sheetrock and whatever, and that's all going to have to be painted again, and it just should be painted once. With the holiday in there and whatever, we knew that there was not going to be enough time to get everything done before Jack came. So then we were can they start any earlier? So this was basically this past Tuesday. David asked, can they start any earlier? At which point they said, oh yeah, actually we checked, we'll come, we're going to start tomorrow. And we're okay, this is now I would say about 1 in the afternoon or so on Tuesday, which means that, and we needed to be out and everything moved out of the rooms that were impacted by 9 a.m. So now David is scrambling for us to find a place to live, and we're trying to figure out how are we going to get all this stuff moved, and the kids need to pack and we need to pack, and the kids are in school right now, and it was a whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, it was a whole thing. So it was probably 4:30 or something, and we are still scrambling. And so David just emailed the remediation company and said, hey, we might have an issue with tomorrow, give me a call. Well, they took that to mean that they were going to cancel the next day. And so now we didn't know, okay, if they cancel coming tomorrow, does that mean now they're not going to be able to come until the 22nd? Anyway, it was just a whole thing again. So we found out, not until the next day, not until Wednesday, that then it was fine, they would be able to start on Thursday. Okay, so now David again is kind of, scrambling, whatever. We find a place, we have it all settled. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Manhattan. It's definitely farther for the kids to go to school, but we talked that we would have them take Ubers if they needed to or whatever, just to get them to and from school so they didn't have to be on public transportation so long anyway. So everything's fine, and we're sort of moving towards that whole process, and all of a sudden we get an email. David's on a call. I think he's on a business call. It's probably I don't know, 1, 2 in the afternoon. Basically, we are planning on moving that night so that then they can start the next morning. And we get an email that says, confirming your place, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I opened it up. I don't even know why I opened it up, because I honestly thought probably it was just like a duplicate thing. I opened it up and it says, starting on the 16th or whatever it was, through the 20th, welcome to your place in Brooklyn. I was like, what the F? Excuse me. So I like yell literally out to David, and I'm like, you need to get off your call, whatever. I'm like, we just got an email, blah, blah, blah. Tell him. He is pissed. So I start to try to call the person who had helped us arrange this at the company. We're trying to get a hold of her. She's not answering. We're getting some overseas customer service person who is completely unhelpful. And anyway, and we're like, we can't live in Brooklyn. And not to mention, I don't want to move there and then have to move back. Like, I'm not going to move multiple times. It was just ridiculous. So finally, David got a hold of something, and bottom line is that all got worked out. Apparently, when they went to go check the unit that we were supposed to move into later that day, there was water damage. Like, really? Us and water damage. Yeah, it just follows us around, you guys. Don't ever live with us, apparently. Got that settled. We were moving into where we are now. And we get here, so the kids come home, we get everything packed, and David had taken the day to like start moving the stuff out of their rooms and whatever. So we get here, the Wi-Fi is not working. So David is trying to like self-help in the Wi-Fi situation. He's trying like all the troubleshooting things. It's not working. And we have to work like here. We work remotely. So like we need to be able to work where we live. That wasn't working. Let's see, the couple of the like air conditioning heating units, which was actually like what I'm having to sit on right now, my makeup thing, weren't working. One was only pumping out heat, and like I said, it's nice right now in New York City, so it's like mid 60s, and it was literally like shooting out like 85 degree, I'm not kidding you, 85 degree air. And even when you turn it off, it's still blowing hot air in the kitchen, which is like the last place you want like hot air blowing when you don't need it. So now I have like those vents covered up with like kitchen towels, trying to keep that heat that's just blowing, even though it's off, from blowing. Anyway, we've got windows open, obviously, like I said. And then Thursday morning, our first morning here, we are awoken to this like horrible like jackhammering or something sound. And we're like, okay, this is not good. So then we tried to talk to the people about them moving us, and anyway, it's been a whole thing. But obviously we decided to stay where we are because I did not want to relocate again. They were not going to give us, there were two other places that we were interested in moving to that were, one was like very, very close to our, home, and one that was in, I don't want to say a better part of Midtown, but just a more convenient part of Midtown for us and the kids. Like, it would have been really, really easy for them to get to school from there. They would have just taken the crosstown bus, and it would have been like super easy. The two that we were talking to, the other two units that we were talking to them about, were more expensive, and we wanted them to match the price that we were paying here. And, oh, what am I doing? No wonder that's not giving me the color payoff that I wanted, because I was dipping into the bronzer instead into the brown of the palette that I was using. That was smart, Lisa. But that's a tip, by the way. If you don't have eyeshadow with you, use your bronzer and things to especially it's good for creases, or you can use it as a transition shade. Just an FYI there. So anyway, we are staying here, as I said, and it's a nice place. I mean, it's it's decently furnished, and other than some things not working perfectly or working at all, we're fine. but it was just very, like I said, very, very last minute. Obviously completely forgot to bring my tripod, as I said, or anything to film with. Thankfully I had just actually ordered this, it's called like an Octo Buddy or something, and it's basically like these suction cup things that attach to the back of your phone, so you can just like put your phone on any like window or mirror or whatever. We were told that they've finished demoing the walls, they've finished demoing, I believe, all the floors that needed to be demoed. So basically the floors, and the only thing they're doing in our room is the walls, I believe. Like our floors weren't affected at all, but Nick and Hannah's floors have to be ripped up and redone, or at least a good portion of them. Probably less so in Nick's room than in Hannah's. Hopefully get a finish on by Tuesday. After that, they have to turn on like the big HEPA filters again to clean all the air, because obviously, you know, mold spores and things got disseminated into the air while they were doing all of this. So the blowers have to run for 3 days. After that, then the mold guy can come back and retest. If it's all safe, then we can come back in. The problem is we can't really come back in because the buildings contractor has to come in now and redo the floors, put up the new sheetrock, put up the baseboards, etc., repair all that. And like the kids won't, like their rooms are going to be completely like destroyed in this whole process. So it's not like we can move back in, because yes, we can be in our room because it's just some sheetrock that they have to fix. And anyway, so we're going to have to stay here basically until probably at least one of their rooms and our room is finished with their construction, and then maybe we can move back in. So the bottom line is that the contractors for the building can't get into our space, you know, until after it's cleared, until it's probably going to be Monday the 27th would be my guess. You were falling off the window there. So Monday the 27th. They are saying that they need like a full 5 days to do their work, which means that our contractor then can't start until Monday, December, maybe it's December 4th. I don't even know. I think it is December 4th. So our contractor then basically has 2 weeks until Jack comes. So all of that needs to get done, plus we need to be able to move our stuff back in and unpack before all that happens. So yay us! So please, if you have any prayers you want to send our way, or good thoughts, anything, we'd appreciate it. Again, I realize that there are way worse things going on in the world, and that we should just feel very blessed to have a roof over our heads and food on our table and clothes on our body and, you know, blankets to keep us warm, etc. I totally get that, and I do. Please do not realize that none of that is lost on me. And especially as I look out the window here on New York City and, you know, see homeless people as I walk by, etc. I get it, but it would just be nice to feel some normalcy and some sense of being settled. So with that, let me see, maybe I'll, like I said, turn the camera around really quickly and kind of give you a quick tour of where we're living temporarily. And yeah, then I'm gonna film a holiday gift guide for you guys, a luxury gift guide. So anyway, let's turn the camera around and I'll show you where we are. So as you can see, this is the living / kind of dining area. David's obviously working, even though it's a Saturday. Nick is actually sleeping on the couch because the bedroom, which is over there, which is Hannah's room, is only a queen size bed, and he's actually going to be going to Kansas City for Thanksgiving to see his brother and to see his friends. So anyway, that's where I've been working at that desk. We actually have some really nice views, and we actually have a patio, as you can see. You can see there we have actually, it's really really pretty at night when it's lit up. And we have a view of the Chrysler building there, and that's a nice little park. And that is 34th Street, so if you go that direction, which is west, you'll hit like Macy's at Herald Square. But yeah, it's, you know, we're not on a super high floor, we're on the 10th floor, so we don't get like super great views, but there is actually, I think, a lounge or a deck upstairs, like a sun deck, so that would probably be cool. I won't take you to see Hannah's room because she would probably not appreciate that, but anyway, we'll walk this way. And this place does have an abundance of closets, which is nice. That actually is the second bathroom, and Nick is in there, I think, taking a shower. Got more closets over here. And then here is the kitchen, which, you know, like I said, is pretty well appointed. It's obviously got an obligatory toaster, and we brought a little mini Nespresso. And then, you know, the cabinets have, you know, some different, not a whole lot of stuff, but you know, it's got dishes and things in it and glasses. And I have cooked one time. If you are living in this, there actually is space like to put a little table there if you wanted. That's just one of the boxes we brought. So I said, let's hang on to it because we'll probably need it to move back. And then if I'm standing at this wall, obviously it's got a refrigerator, and we've got like our pantry kind of food in there. So anyway, as you walk back out, it does have some nice, all beat up hardwood floors. You walk in, wow, my shoes are squeaky. This direction is kind of the master kind of whole area. So it's a master, like an ensuite. That is a huge like storage closet. There's no like rods or anything in there, but if you had luggage and things like that that you wanted to store. Anyway, this is our bathroom. Hello. I just realized David didn't close this medicine cabinet thing, but there's lots of storage in there for medicine cabinet. Anyway, it's a perfectly functional bathroom. Walk back out here. Like I said, that's the door into the rest of the apartment. And then I'm using this closet for my clothes. I packed very minimally because, you know, we can do laundry and things like that. David apparently decided to bring his entire wardrobe, which isn't a whole lot, but is way more than he certainly needed to bring. Anyway, we've got a king size bed, as you can see, and then this is his closet over here. And I do have a full length mirror, which you can see, and I only brought 2 bags with me. I brought, because I, you know, as you guys know, I don't have access to very much. So I brought the Prada re-edition in case I had bad weather. And I brought my absolutely stunning mini capucines in the navy, which I've been carrying a lot. And actually I did bring my Moreau Perry tote, because that is what I used to like do all my work stuff. And that, as you can see, so I had you propped up right on this window here, which gives great light to do, you know, videos. So anyway, that is the apartment tour, the temporary housing apartment tour. Oh, my hair is like now, from being outside, it was quite windy. I think it's definitely colder today. It feels like it's probably only in the 40s, but the last few days have been like 66. So it's been super nice. So that's the update, guys. Thanks for listening. And like I said, if you have any good thoughts or prayers you'd like to send our way, that, you know, hopefully we can get this all completed and all done before Jack comes. Because then also, by the way, Morgan and her boyfriend are supposed to be coming too. Now, they're probably not going to stay with us. We'll have to find them someplace else to stay. But, you know, we'd like to have a nice place for our kids to come for the holidays, especially. So anyway, like I said, good thoughts, prayers, always appreciated. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm not really sure there was a whole lot to enjoy, but if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you in our amazing, amazing community here. I'm getting very close to 3,000 subscribers. I think I'm almost at 2,900, so just a little bit more before the end of the year. I would really appreciate it if you could help me out. Click the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. If you haven't had enough of me yet, I will pop another video up here for you to watch. And wherever you are, I hope you are having an amazing day or evening, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.